The stars in the Kepler sector burned with the light of war. Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the human ship UES Defiant and watched the death of another world. The planet below had once been home to 3 billion people. Now it was just a ball of molten rock floating in space. "How long has this been going on?" asked Dr. Alex Carter, the ship's scientist. He pressed his face against the viewing window, his breath making small clouds on the glass. 300 years, Jake answered. His voice was quiet and sad. Maybe longer. The records are not clear. The war was between 2 alien races. The Zephyrians looked like giant lizards that walked on 2 legs. They were 10 feet tall with thick scales and yellow eyes that glowed in the dark. Their ships were huge and black, covered with weapons that shot beams of burning plasma. When they attacked a planet, they turned the ground into glass. The other side was called the Arcturus Collective. They were not like any bugs humans had ever seen. Each one was the size of a small car, with 6 legs and wings that buzzed like thunder. But the scary part was how they worked together. Millions of them would fly through space in giant living ships made from their own bodies. When they found an enemy, they would eat everything in their path. "Sir, we are getting a message." "From Earth Command," said Lieutenant Sam Parker. He was young and new to space. This was his first time seeing a war zone. Jake walked over to the communication station. Captain Lisa Rodriguez appeared on the screen. She was back on Earth, safe in the command center. "Jake, what is your status?" she asked. "We are in the remains of the Procyon system. The Zephyrians hit this place 2 days ago. There is nothing left alive." Lisa's face was hard. "Any sign of the Arcturus?" "No. They pulled back after the Zephyrians arrived. Both fleets are gone now." "Good. Remember your orders. We watch only. Do not get involved. Earth wants to stay out of this fight." Jake nodded. Understood. "But Lisa, you should see this. Whole star systems are dying. Billions of people are dead. Someone needs to stop this." "That someone is not us," Lisa said firmly. "Our job is to watch and learn. Earth Command thinks we are too small to make a difference. Let the big powers fight it out." The screen went dark. Jake stared at it for a long time. Around him, his crew worked quietly. Everyone could feel the sadness in the air. Dr. Carter walked over to Jake. "Commander, I have been studying the alien messages we picked up. Both sides are getting tired. They have been fighting for so long that they are running out of ships and soldiers." "But they keep fighting?" "Yes, it has become personal now. Each side has lost so much that they cannot stop. They would rather die than give up." Jake looked out at the dead planet again. "What started this war?" "Nobody knows for sure. The records go back 300 years, but the real reason is lost. Maybe they fought over territory. Maybe it was about resources. Now it does not matter. They fight because they have always fought." Across the bridge, Lieutenant Parker was listening to radio signals from deep space. "Sir, I am picking up fleet movements, big ones." "Show me," Jake ordered. The main screen lit up with a map of local space. Red dots showed Zephyrian ships. Blue dots showed Arcturus forces. There were thousands of each, all moving toward the same point. "The Vega system," Dr. Carter said. "They are going to fight again." Jake studied the map. The 2 fleets were massive. Each side had enough firepower to destroy 100 worlds. When they met, the battle would be terrible. "Set course for Vega," Jake ordered, "but keep us far away. We will watch from a safe distance." "Sir," Parker said, "should we warn the colonies in that system?" "They already know. Everyone in the galaxy knows when these fleets move. The civilians evacuated weeks ago. The U's Defiant jumped to hyperspace." In the strange blue light between stars, Jake thought about Earth. His whole world was peaceful and green. People there had wars too, but nothing like this. Nothing that lasted 300 years. When they came out of hyperspace near Vega, the battle had already begun. Jake had seen alien fights before, but never this close. The space between planets was full of fire and death. Zephyrian ships fired, their plasma cannons in great waves of light. Each blast could melt a mountain. The Arcturus answered with clouds of living missiles that moved like angry wasps. When the missiles hit Zephyrian ships, they ate through the metal like acid. "My God," whispered Parker. "How many ships are out there?" "Too many to count," Alex answered. He was recording everything with his instruments. "This is the biggest battle I have ever seen." For 6 hours, the two fleets tore each other apart. Ships exploded in flowers of flame. Debris floated everywhere, but neither side was winning. The Zephyrians had better weapons, but the Arcturus had more ships. Every time one side gained ground, the other pushed back. They are evenly matched, Jake realized. This fight could go on forever. Just like the war, Alex said sadly. They are stuck. Neither side can win, but neither side will quit. As the battle raged, Jake made a decision that would change everything. He opened a secure channel to Earth. "This is Commander Morrison calling Earth Command. Priority message for Admiral Kate Williams." Minutes passed before the Admiral's face appeared on screen. She was an older woman with gray hair and tired eyes. "Jake, what is so important that you are breaking radio silence?" "Admiral, you need to see this battle. Both alien fleets are fighting themselves to death, and neither can win. This war will never end unless someone stops it. And you think that someone should be us? I think we are the only ones who can do it." Admiral Williams was quiet for a long time. Behind her, Jake could see other officers watching and listening. "Send me all your data," she finally said. "Everything you have recorded about both sides. Their weapons, their tactics, their weaknesses. Earth Command needs to study this." "Yes, ma'am." "But Admiral, while we study and debate, more people are dying." "I know, Jake, but we have to be smart about this. If humanity is going to act, we need to be ready. And we need to be sure we can actually end this war, not just make it worse." The transmission ended. Jake looked out at the battle again. More ships were dying every minute. Somewhere in the galaxy, there were alien families waiting for soldiers who would never come home. But for the first time since arriving in the war zone, Jake felt hope. Earth was listening. Maybe, just maybe, humanity could find a way to stop the endless fighting. He did not know it yet, but the galaxy was about to change forever. 3 months had passed since the battle at Vega. Lieutenant Sam Parker now commanded his own scout ship, the U.E.'s Shadow. His job was to watch the front lines and report back to Earth. What he saw made his stomach hurt. The two alien fleets still faced each other across the Vega system. Neither side had moved much in all this time. They just sat there, shooting at each other day after day. Sometimes a ship would explode. Sometimes a group would charge forward, only to fall back again. Nothing really changed. "Sir, both fleets are running low on supplies," reported his communications officer, Petty Officer Amy Foster. She was good at breaking alien codes. "I am hearing lots of talk about fuel shortages and damaged weapons." "But they keep fighting anyway?" Sam asked. "Yes, sir. Pride, I think. Neither side wants to be the first to run away." Sam looked at his tactical display. The Zephyrian fleet had started with 2,000 ships. Now they were down to about 1,500. The Arcturus Collective had lost even more. Their bioships could heal themselves, but it took time and energy they did not have. "Amy, send our daily report to Admiral Williams. Tell her the situation is getting worse, not better." Meanwhile, at Earth Command Headquarters, Admiral Kate Williams studied reports from 20 different star systems. The alien war was spreading like a disease. Trade routes were closing. Neutral worlds were picking sides or fleeing to safer areas. Captain Lisa Rodriguez entered the Admiral's office carrying a thick folder. "Mom, here are the latest intelligence reports." "The situation is bad." "How bad?" Kate asked, though she already feared the answer. "Both alien races are conscripting civilian populations. The Zephyrians are forcing their people to work in weapon factories 20 hours a day. The Arcturus are breeding new soldier bugs so fast that their home worlds are running out of food." Kate rubbed her tired eyes. "And our colonies?" "Scared. The fighting is getting close to our territory. The colony at New Dallas has already asked for military protection. What about our observers in the field? All reporting the same thing. The aliens are stuck in a death spiral. They cannot win, but they cannot stop. Every day more ships die, but the fleets stay roughly the same size." Kate opened her desk drawer and pulled out a classified file. "Lisa, I want you to read this, but first, you need to sign a security oath." Lisa signed the papers without reading them. She trusted Kate completely. When she opened the file, her eyes went wide. "This is a complete analysis of alien technology," she said slowly. "Where did we get this?" "Dr. Rachel Adams and her team have been working on it for months. They studied every piece of alien wreckage they could find, every intercepted message, every tactical recording." Lisa flipped through page after page of technical drawings and battle analysis. "Kate, this says we could beat them, both of them, at the same time." "Keep reading." The next section made Lisa sit down hard. Human technology was different from alien technology. The Zephyrians had focused on raw power. Their plasma weapons could destroy anything, but they were slow and used lots of energy. The Arcturus had focused on numbers. Their bioships were fast and could heal, but they were weak individually. Humans had focused on adaptability. Human ships were smaller and weaker than alien ships, but they could change quickly. A human ship could switch from energy weapons to projectile weapons in seconds. It could change its armor to resist different types of attacks. "We have been developing hybrid technology," Kate explained. "Weapons that combine alien principles with human engineering. Colonel Ryan Davis has been testing prototypes in secret." "How secret?" Lisa asked. "So secret that most of Earth's government does not know about it." At that moment, Colonel Ryan Davis was testing humanity's newest weapon. The UE's Thunderstrike looked like a normal human ship from the outside, but inside it carried weapons. That could make both alien races very unhappy. "Target acquired," announced the ship's pilot, Captain Ben Rodriguez. He was Lisa's younger brother, and one of the best pilots in the human fleet. "Fire plasma cannon," Ryan ordered. A beam of green fire shot from the ship and melted a large asteroid. The beam was not as powerful as a Zephyrian weapon, but it was much more accurate and used half the energy. "Switch to biowarfare mode, Ryan." "Side, switching now," Ben replied. In 5 seconds, the ship's weapons changed completely. Now they fired clouds of tiny machines that could eat through organic material like the Arcturus bioships. Fire biodisruptors. The weapons hit another asteroid. This one had been covered with alien bacteria for the test. Within minutes, all the bacteria were dead. "How long to switch back to plasma?" Ryan asked. 3 seconds, Ben answered. Ryan smiled. In battle, 3 seconds could mean the difference between life and death. No alien ship could change its weapons that fast. "Sir," called the weapons officer, Lieutenant Dan Brown, "we are ready to test the quantum shields. Proceed." The ship's shields shimmered and changed color. Now they could stop both plasma and bio-attacks. The shield could even adapt to new types of weapons automatically. "This is incredible," Ben said. "We could take on ships 10 times our size." "That is the idea," Ryan replied. "But remember, this is still classified. Earth has not decided if we are going to use this technology." Back at Earth Command, that decision was being made right now. President Laura Mitchell had called an emergency meeting of the Defense Council. 12 of Earth's most important leaders sat around a table, arguing about humanity's future. "We should stay out of this war," said Senator Jack Murphy. "It is not our fight. It will become our fight if we do nothing," argued General Chris Thompson. "The aliens are getting desperate. Desperate people do stupid things." "What are you suggesting?" asked the president. "I'm suggesting we end this war before it destroys the galaxy." "With 12 ships?" Senator Murphy laughed. "The aliens have thousands." General Thompson stood up and activated a holographic display. It showed the human test ship U.E.'s Thunderstrike destroying alien targets with ease. "Numbers do not always win wars," he said quietly. "Sometimes intelligence wins. Sometimes adaptability wins. And sometimes the side that is willing to show mercy wins." The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the display, watching human technology tear through alien defenses like paper. "How many ships like this do we have?" asked the president. 12. Prototype vessels. Each one is different. Each one specialized for a different type of combat. "And you think 12 ships can end a 300-year war?" "I think 12 ships can do what thousands of alien ships could not do. They can adapt. They can surprise the enemy. And most importantly, they can choose when to stop fighting." President Mitchell looked around the table. "All in favor of military intervention?" 7 hands went up. 5 stayed down. "Motion carries." General Thompson, prepare your fleet. In the Vega system, Lieutenant Sam Parker watched another day of pointless fighting. He did not know that help was coming. He did not know that Earth had decided to act. All he knew was that more alien ships were dying, and the war showed no signs of ending. But everything was about to change. The human fleet gathered at a secret base near Jupiter. 12 ships that looked small compared to the massive alien warships they would soon face. But appearances could be deceiving. Admiral Tom Patterson stood in the briefing room of his flagship, the UES Retribution. Around him sat the captains of the other 11 ships. Each one was handpicked for this mission. Each one knew they were about to make history. "Ladies and gentlemen," Tom began, "in 6 hours we will jump to the Vega system. Our mission is simple: end the war." Captain Maria Santos raised her hand. She commanded the UES Phantom, a ship designed for stealth attacks. "Sir, what if they refuse to surrender?" "Then we make them surrender," Tom replied. "But I want to be clear about something. We are not going there to destroy the alien fleets. We are going there to disable them. Show them that fighting is pointless. What if they unite against us?" Ask Captain Ben Rodriguez from the UES Thunderstrike. "Then we deal with both fleets at once. Our ships are designed for exactly that situation." Dr. Rachel Adams, head of the weapons development team, activated a holographic display. It showed the technical specs of all 12 human ships. "Each ship has different abilities," she explained. "The Phantom can become invisible to alien sensors. The Thunderstrike can switch between different types of weapons in seconds. The Stinger carries bioweapons that can dissolve alien ships without harming the crews." "What about the Hornet?" asked Lieutenant Jennifer Kim. She was the youngest captain in the fleet, but also the best pilot. "Your ship is our secret weapon." Rachel smiled. "Faster than anything the aliens have ever seen. Your job is to confuse them, make them chase you while the other ships attack." Tom looked around the room. "Any questions?" Commander Dan Brown of the Hughes Viper spoke up. "Sir, what if we fail? What if 12 ships are not enough? Then Earth will know we tried," Tom answered honestly. "But I do not think we will fail. The aliens have been fighting the same way for 300 years. They expect their enemies to fight the same way too. We are going to do something they have never seen before." 6 hours later, the human fleet jumped into hyperspace. The journey to Vega would take 2 hours. Tom spent that time reviewing the battle plan one more time. When they arrived at Vega, the sight was both amazing and terrible. 2 massive alien fleets faced each other across empty space. Thousands of ships on each side, all armed with weapons that could destroy planets. "Communications, open a channel to both fleets," Tom ordered. "Channel open, sir." Tom's voice was calm and strong. "This is Admiral Tom Patterson of the Earth Defense Force. This war ends today. Power down your weapons and prepare to negotiate." For a moment, there was silence. Then both alien commanders responded at once. War Master Zix of V. The Zephyrian spoke first. His voice was deep and angry, like rocks grinding together. "Humans, you dare interfere in our righteous war? Your tiny ships are nothing compared to our might." Hive Queen Scylla of the Arcturus chittered her response. Her voice sounded like 1,000 insects talking at once. "Foolish mammals. We will crush your ships and add your bones to our victory pile." Tom sighed. "I was hoping we could do this the easy way. All ships, prepare for combat. Remember, disable only. Do not destroy unless you have no choice." The alien fleets turned toward the human ships. It looked like a joke. 12 small human vessels against thousands of alien warships. Any sane person would have run away, but the humans were not running. "Execute Plan Alpha," Tom commanded. The 12 human ships suddenly spread out in all directions. They moved faster than the aliens expected. The U.E.'s Hornet, piloted by Jennifer Kim, shot forward like a bullet. She flew straight between the 2 alien fleets, too fast for their weapons to track. "What are they doing?" War Master Zix growled. To his officers, "Those ships are too small to be a threat." He was about to learn how wrong he was. Captain Maria Santos engaged the Phantom stealth systems. Her ship vanished from alien sensors. While the aliens searched for her, she positioned herself behind a group of Zephyrian cruisers. Firing quantum disruptors, she reported calmly. Invisible beams shot from the Phantom and passed right through the Zephyrian shields. The enemy ship systems shut down one by one. Their weapons went dead. Their engines stopped working. But the ships themselves were not destroyed, and the crews were unharmed. "Impossible." Zix roared. "Our shields are impenetrable." "Not to quantum." "Weapons," Maria replied over the open channel. "Your shields only stop physical attacks. These weapons attack your ship's energy patterns directly." Meanwhile, Captain Ben Rodriguez in the Thunderstrike was facing a swarm of Arcturus bioships. The insect creatures dove at his ship like angry hornets. "Switching to bio-warfare mode," Ben announced. His ship's weapons changed from plasma cannons to bio-disruptors. Instead of burning the alien ships, the weapons released chemicals that broke down the organic materials the ships were made from. The Arcturus ships began to dissolve. But instead of dying, the alien crews found themselves floating in escape. Pods that appeared automatically as their ships fell apart. "How is this possible?" Hive Queen Scylla screeched. "Our bioships are immune to all known weapons." "Not to these weapons," Ben replied. "We studied your technology for months. We know exactly how to counter it without killing you." The battle continued for 2 more hours, but it was not really a battle. It was more like a demonstration. The human ships moved through the alien fleets like dancers, disabling ship after ship without destroying them. When the aliens tried to adapt, the humans adapted faster. When the Zephyrians boosted their shield power, the humans switched to different weapons. When the Arcturus changed their bioship composition, the humans changed their biodisruptors to match. Jennifer Kim in the Hornet flew circles around both fleets. Her ship was so fast that the aliens could not even see her clearly. She would appear, disable a few ships, and vanish again before they could react. "This is impossible," War Master Zix said to Hive Queen Scylla over their private channel. "How can 12 ships defeat thousands?" "I do not know," Scylla replied. "But we must stop them before they disable our entire fleets." For the first time in 300 years, the two alien races agreed on something. They turned all the remaining weapons on the human ships. It did not work. Admiral Tom Patterson watched his tactical display with satisfaction. Both alien fleets were now firing at his ships with everything they had. But human shields adapted to each attack in real time. Plasma beams bounced off harmlessly. Bioweapons dissolved before they could reach their targets. "Sir," reported his weapons officer, "both alien fleets are down to about 30% combat effectiveness." "Good. Time to end this. All ships, execute final phase." The 12 human ships suddenly stopped moving. They hung in space between the two alien fleets, completely still. "Attention all ships," Tom broadcast. "You have seen what our weapons can do. We can disable every ship in both your fleets within the next hour. Your crews will survive, but your war will be over. You have two choices. Surrender now and begin peace negotiations, or we will make the choice for you." The silence that followed was the longest minute in galactic history. Then, slowly, War Master Zix powered down his flagship's weapons. "The Zephyrian Empire yields to the humans," he said quietly. A moment later, Hive Queen Scylla did the same. Arcturus Collective acknowledges human victory. The 300-year war was over, and it had taken humanity exactly 5 hours to end it. The silence in space was complete. For the first time in 300 years, no weapons were firing in the Vega system. Thousands of alien ships floated quietly, their crews trying to understand what had just happened. Admiral Tom Patterson sat in his command chair, watching the tactical display. Red dots and blue dots that had been moving in attack patterns now sat perfectly still. The war was over, but the real work was just beginning. "Sir," said his communications officer, "both alien commanders are requesting private channels. Put them both on screen." Same channel. The bridge's main display split in half. On the left side appeared War Master Zix, a Zephyrian commander. He was 12 feet tall, with dark green scales and glowing yellow eyes. On the right side was Hive Queen Scylla, her insect features clicking and moving as she breathed. Both aliens looked shocked and confused. "Human Admiral," Zix began, his deep voice careful and slow, "your weapons are unlike anything we have seen. How is this possible?" Tom leaned forward. "We studied both of your races for months. We learned how your technology works. Then we built weapons specifically designed to counter yours. But our shields have protected us for centuries," Scylla chittered. "No weapon has ever passed through them." "Your shields protect against the weapons you know about," Tom explained. "We use different principles: quantum physics, molecular disruption, adaptive frequencies." Zix's eyes narrowed. "If you have such powerful weapons, why did you not destroy our fleets? You could have killed us all." This was the question Tom had been waiting for. "Because we are not here to conquer you. We are here to save you." "Save us?" Scylla's mandibles clicked in confusion. "From what?" "From yourselves. Both of your civilizations are dying. You have spent 300 years killing each other. Your home worlds are running out of resources. Your people are starving while you build more weapons." Tom stood up and walked closer to the screen. We ended your war not because we want to rule you, but because we want you to survive." The two alien commanders looked at each other for the first time without hatred in their eyes. The human was right. Their civilizations were barely alive. "After centuries of war, what do you propose?" Zix asked quietly. "Peace talks?" "On a neutral world. Representatives from all three of our species working together to rebuild what has been destroyed." "Impossible," Scylla said, but her voice was not as sure as before. "We have been enemies too long. There is too much blood between us." "There is always too much blood," Tom replied. "That is why someone has to be brave enough to stop the bleeding." Captain Maria Santos' voice came over the intercom. "Admiral, we are receiving surrender confirmations from both fleets. All weapons are powered down. All ships are following our instructions. Thank you, Captain." Tom turned back to the alien commanders. "Your fleets are safe. Your crews are alive. Now we can start building something better. Over the next few hours, human ships moved carefully through both alien fleets. They brought medical supplies to damaged vessels. They shared food with crews that had been on short rations. They helped repair life support systems that had been damaged in the fighting. Lieutenant Jennifer Kim piloted her fighter Hornet between the alien ships. Her job was to watch for any signs of trouble. Instead, she saw something she had not expected. Zephyrin and Arcturus crew members were talking to each other, not fighting, just talking. Some were sharing pictures of their families. Others were trading food or small gifts. "Admiral Patterson," Jennifer reported, "you need to see this. The alien crews are starting to communicate with each other." "What are they saying?" "Mostly just basic stuff. Names, home planets, how long they have been fighting. But, sir, they are not acting like enemies anymore. They are acting like people who are tired of war." Tom smiled. This was exactly what he had hoped for. When people stopped seeing each other as monsters, peace became possible. Dr. Rachel Adams was aboard the Zephyrian flagship, working with their chief engineer to understand their technology better. The alien, whose name was Sub-Commander Krell, was surprisingly helpful. "Your quantum disruptors are very clever," Krell said. His English was rough but understandable. "We never thought to attack energy patterns instead of physical matter." "Your plasma technology is impressive too," Rachel replied. "Much more efficient than our early designs. Maybe we can learn from each other." Krell's scaled head tilted to one side. "Learn from each other? But we are enemies, are we? Your ships are not shooting at our ships. Our people are helping your wounded. That does not sound like enemies to me." The alien engineer was quiet for a long time. "For my whole life, I have been told that the Arcturus are evil, that humans are weak. But today, humans saved my ship, and I saw Arcturus crew members helping our damaged vessels. Maybe what you were told was wrong." "Maybe," Krell agreed slowly. "It is hard to change ideas you have held for so long." Meanwhile, Captain Ben Rodriguez was having a similar conversation with Hive Queen Scylla herself. The insect ruler had invited him aboard her bioship to see how their organic technology worked. "Your ships can heal themselves," Ben observed, "watching the vessel's living walls slowly repair battle damage. That is incredible." "It is how we have survived so long," Scylla explained. "But healing takes energy. Energy we do not have enough of anymore. What if you did not need to heal so often? What if there were no more battles?" Scylla's compound eyes focused on Ben. "You really believe peace is possible?" "I have to believe it. Otherwise, what was the point of stopping the war? The Zephyrians killed millions of my people. How can I forgive that?" Ben was quiet for a moment. "I do not know. But I know that killing millions more of their people will not bring yours back." The conversation was interrupted by an urgent message from Admiral Patterson. "All ship commanders, report to the Retribution immediately. we have a situation. When Ben arrived at the human flagship, he found the other captains already gathered in the briefing room. Admiral Patterson looked worried. "What is it, sir?" asked Captain Maria Santos. "We just received a message from Earth. The news of our victory has reached the home worlds of both alien races. Some of their people are not happy about the surrender." Tom activated a holographic display showing intelligence reports from across the galaxy. Zephyrian hardliners are calling War Master Zix a traitor. Arcturus militants want Hive Queen Scylla removed from power. "How bad is it?" asked Jennifer Kim. "Bad enough that both leaders might be overthrown if they return home. Which means the peace talks might never happen." The room fell silent. They had ended the war, but they had not ended the hatred that caused it. "Sir," Ben said slowly, "what if they do not go home? What if we set up the peace talks on a neutral world and keep the negotiations going until both sides are ready to accept the new reality?" Tom nodded. "That is exactly what I was thinking. But it means we are committed to this for the long term. We cannot just end the war and walk away." "Then we do not walk away," Maria said firmly. "We stay until the job is finished." The other captains nodded in agreement. They had come this far. They would not quit now. Tom opened a channel to both alien commanders. "War Master Zix, Hive Queen Scylla, we need to talk. It seems ending the war was the easy part. Making the peace is going to be much harder." 1 month after the 5-hour war, the planet Haven floated peacefully in neutral space. It was a green world with blue oceans and white clouds, far from any military base or weapon factory. For the first time in centuries, representatives from 3 different species walked the same ground without trying to kill each other. Ambassador Helen Foster stood on the balcony of the Peace Center, watching alien children play in the gardens below. Zephyrian younglings chased Arcturus larvae around the flower beds, while human kids taught both groups how to play soccer with a round ball instead of trying to eat it. "Hard to believe they were enemies a month ago," said Captain Jake Morrison, joining her on the balcony. He had been promoted to admiral after the war ended, and now served as military advisor to the peace talks. "Children adapt faster than adults," Helen replied. "They do not carry old grudges." Below them, the real work was happening. In meeting rooms throughout the building, scientists, engineers, doctors, and diplomats from all 3 species worked together on reconstruction plans. The galaxy had a lot of healing to do. Dr. Alex Carter emerged from one of the meeting rooms, looking tired but happy. He had been working with alien scientists to develop new farming techniques that could feed the starving populations on both homeworlds. "How are the agricultural talks going?" Helen asked. "Better than expected," Alex replied. "The Zephyrians have amazing soil treatment technology. The Arcturus understand plant biology like no one else. Combine that with human crop rotation methods, and we might be able to end the food shortages within 2 years. Any resistance from the home governments?" Alex's smile faded slightly. "Some. The hardliners on both sides are still calling this collaboration treason, but hunger is a powerful motivator. When your people are starving, politics becomes less important." In another part of the building, former enemies worked side by side on something that would have been impossible just weeks before. Sub-Commander Krell of the Zephyrians and bioengineer Chidix of the Arcturus were designing a new type of spaceship that combined technologies from all 3 races. "If we use Zephyrian power systems with Arcturus healing capabilities and human adaptive controls," Chidix explained, her mandibles clicking with excitement, "we could build ships that are faster, stronger, and more efficient than anything that exists now." Krell nodded his scaled head. "And these ships would be for exploration, not war. We could discover new worlds instead of destroying old ones." The project was symbolic as much as practical. Ships built by former enemies, designed to explore rather than fight, represented everything the peace talks were trying to achieve. But not everyone was happy with the changes. Admiral Tom Patterson received an urgent message from Earth while reviewing security reports. President Laura Mitchell appeared on his private communication screen, her face serious. "Tom, we have a problem. Intelligence reports suggest that extremist groups on both alien homeworlds are planning something." "What kind of something?" "The kind that involves attacking the peace talks. They want to restart the war." Tom felt his stomach tighten. How credible is the threat? Credible enough that we are sending reinforcements. The UE's Defiant and 3 other ships are already on their way. "Ma'am, if we bring more military ships here, it might send the wrong message. The aliens might think we are preparing for another fight." Laura was quiet for a moment. "What do you suggest?" "Let me handle this quietly. If there are extremists planning attacks, maybe we can stop them before they act." "How?" Tom smiled grimly. "By giving them something more important to worry about." The next morning, Admiral Tom called a special meeting. Representatives from all 3 species gathered in the main conference room. War Master Zix and Hive Queen Scylla sat at opposite ends of a long table with humans in between. "Ladies, gentlemen, and honored colleagues," Tom began, "we have received intelligence that some groups want to destroy what we have built here." The room erupted in angry voices. Zephyrians hissed threats against anyone who would harm the peace. Arcturus chittered their agreement. Humans spoke quietly but firmly about protection. Tom raised his hand for silence. "The best way to stop them is to show the galaxy that peace works. I propose we accelerate our reconstruction efforts. Instead of taking years to rebuild, we do it in months." "Impossible," said Zix. "Our worlds have been damaged by centuries of war." "Not impossible," replied Dr. Rachel Adams, standing up from her seat. "Difficult, yes, but not impossible if all 3 species work together." She activated a holographic display showing detailed plans for massive reconstruction projects. Zephyrian heavy construction equipment, Arcturus bioremediation organisms, human coordination and logistics. Together, we could rebuild entire cities in weeks instead of years. Hive Queen Scylla leaned forward, her compound eyes studying the plans. This would require unprecedented cooperation. "Yes," Tom agreed. "It would also require trust. The kind of trust that makes extremists irrelevant." Over the following weeks, something amazing happened. Ships from all 3 species began working together on a scale never seen before. Zephyrian construction vessels moved massive building materials, while Arcturus bioships planted new forests. Human coordination ships directed the efforts like conductors leading an orchestra. Lieutenant Sam Parker, now Captain Parker, commanded one of the human logistics vessels. He watched alien workers rebuilding a devastated city on the Zephyrian border world of Kepler Prime. "Captain," reported his communications officer, "we are receiving thanks from the civilian population. They say they have not seen this much progress in decades." Sam smiled. "Send our thanks back. Tell them this is just the beginning." The reconstruction efforts had an unexpected effect. When extremist groups tried to recruit supporters, they found fewer people willing to listen. It was hard to argue for. More war when former enemies were building new schools for your children. Dr. Alex Carter stood in a laboratory on the Arcturus homeworld, working with scientists who had been trying to kill humans just months before. Together, they had developed new medicines that could treat diseases affecting all 3 species. "Alex," said his Arcturus colleague, Dr. Hive Tenderzak, "I must confess something. When the war ended, I thought humans were just another conqueror. I was wrong. What changed your mind? Conquerors take things. You give things. Food, medicine, technology, hope. That is not conquest. That is friendship. The sentiment was spreading throughout the galaxy. On both alien homeworlds, public opinion was shifting. People who had lived with war their entire lives were experiencing something new. The possibility of a better future. 6 months after the 5-hour war, Ambassador Helen Foster stood before the Galactic Assembly, a new organization representing all inhabited worlds in the region. Behind her sat representatives from dozens of species that had been forced to choose sides during the long war. The war that raged for 3 centuries is truly over, she announced. Not because one side defeated the other, but because all sides chose to build instead of destroy. In the audience, Admiral Jake Morrison watched former enemies applaud together. War Master Zix and Hive Queen Scylla had become unlikely friends, working together on joint projects that benefited both their peoples. "What happens now?" asked Captain Ben Rodriguez, sitting beside Jake. "Now we keep building," Jake replied. "The hard part is not ending the war. The hard part is making sure it never starts again." He was right. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the smallest force could create the biggest change. 12 human ships had ended a war that thousands of alien vessels could not win. But more importantly, they had proven that enemies could become friends, that destruction could become creation, and that hope was stronger than hatred. The war was over. The peace had just begun. And for the first time in 300 years, the future looked bright. In her final report to Earth, President Lara Mitchell wrote, "Humanity's greatest victory was not in the speed of our military success, but in our ability to turn former enemies into partners. We did not just end a war. We started a new age of cooperation that will benefit the entire galaxy. The stars that had once burned with the fire of war now shined with the light of hope. And it had all started when humanity decided that 5 hours was long enough for any war to last.